Hey, and good morning.
Good
Welcome to the morning
morning.
stream. Hello, Mindy Hahn. I'm Ramon Scott. Mindy, another week is almost gone by us here as we get to our 1 day break, but
Right.
we're going to continue on with our college football analysis coming up in this show, and Major League Baseball as well. After I don't know, it was a slow Wednesday. We just had the baseball card, but what can you say? Our consensus picks another fine day for us over there. Even though we just had the baseball.
Yeah, so we had some pretty stellar picks there. You can't go under anymore, or under an 8 total with less than one too often there. In that Cardinals Padres game. So even though Pujols broke up the no hit bid there, but it was a good call on our part.
Yeah, I think we tabbed that one for sure. And you see our consensus plays there. 3-1 yesterday. Another successful day. I ended up on the leaderboard as well. And of course, over the last 7 days, there you are, Mindy, still at the
Yeah.
top of the leaderboard here at Tony'sPicks.com. Over the last 7 days, up nearly 500 units. So
Yep, I just split last night. Darn it! So I had those Blue Jays that gave it up, right there at the end, and then had a Mariners first five where they continue to not be able to score. I don't know why I still have faith in them at this point.
no, that was another one though that we had right when we had the under there, right, with Toronto and Philly.
Yep, that worked out.
One
Yes.
of our winners there. I also had premium winner with Boston and Cincinnati under also, and
And I took Cincinnati. I had them on the run line. So
okay, and I had the Orioles as some chalk yesterday, and we also had don't forget the Rangers. We had the Rangers on our uh, consensus plays yesterday, and that was a pretty good, I thought, pretty good day.
yeah, for sure, I liked it. It was good. More like
And
that.
welcome to everybody. We want to hear from you in the chat. We want to hear your comments, and we want to see your comments. And Crush Diamonds always joining us and
Heck
on
yeah.
the shows on the network here. You can be Crush Diamonds can be found in the chat on every show throughout these channels. So appreciate you as always. And who else is going to comment for us in the chat as we roll on? A lot more action today, Mindy. With we're gonna one NFL game to look at tonight. Got the baseball card to look at, and we're going to continue on, as I said, with college football. We'll tell you how to get with our previous picks for the week so far in college football. We're going to get about halfway through the card, a little more than halfway through the card yesterday and then today. So, pretty good day. Keep on rolling.
For sure.
Don't forget, check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all of our premium pick packages. Click on the All Cappers tab. There you'll find all of our handicappers over at Tony's Picks. You can click on their handicapper profile and get signed up. Check out our premium plays. Like I said, Mindy and I, you can get our consensus plays right here. We're right there at the top,
Look at
Mindy,
us go.
with those. Yep. So take a look. So far, so good since we've started the Morning Steam consensus account over there. Again, you get the free plays right here if you join us every day on the Morning Steam. But if you don't have time, you can always get our premium picks over there. And we got plenty tonight already in college football.
No, it's going to be a
Mindy,
fun day.
right? I mean, look, we have the plays. We have it in a 5-pack. Really, you can get the first 2 days of the weekend in a 5-pack. So, for 35 right there, pretty good profit guaranteed. So we must show a profit on those plays. Or, like I said, you can still go back and check out the videos if you want to do the legwork. The plays are right there, absolutely free. So. All right, we got ways to go. We could talk about all that, but we better get rolling. We got a lot of games we really want to cover on Thursday because of the the three major sports going in the NFL game tonight on Amazon Prime. I know a lot of people whining about the coverage, and that's okay, but we all not all of us. I mean, I don't know. We all got Amazon, don't we?
I'm pretty sure.
Get the game for free. We want our packages the next day, so we get our football game, and they send you an email like it's a big privilege for it. Oh, here's your football game. Thank you, Amazon. All right, but let's get right into it because there is a little bit of breaking news. I know it kind of started to work its way out yesterday, but we're expecting brisk wins tonight in Cleveland, and that's why the total has dropped considerably here to 38. Maybe there's a lot of public sentiment that these offenses will not be able to move very well, but we saw what Cleveland did with the Jets. I mean, they couldn't stop the Jets, so I don't know if they really have any defense, and maybe Pittsburgh's got a little bit more, but what do you think about this one, Mindy? That's the big story, I think, right now with those 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. That I don't know if it'll get any higher. I mean, that even could be a high estimate. Maybe it could be 10 to 15, but the market is reacting as if it will be a significant effect on the game tonight.
Yeah, those Browns losing to the Jets. Yikes. I mean, they had that one in the bag. I mean, it's pretty bad. What is it? 8% of onside kicks the teams get, and they all the breaks went their way. But congrats to those Jets. But the Steelers here, they rank 30th on offense, only putting up about 255 yards per game. Trubisky, he's only completing about 52% of his passes. So if he wants to stay in there and remain, the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, he needs to get moving here in this game here tonight. And then you have Brissett here for the Browns. He ranks 9th offensively with those Cleveland Browns, so hasn't been bad at all. He's completing 65% of his passes. But then you have, a Browns defense ranked like 26, just not playing all that great. In Pittsburgh, they're actually putting up about 404 yards here per game, so it's been kind of interesting with how this matchup is kind of going to play out. Is Trubisky going to have this off day again? I think I said that wrong.
Pulled, Mindy.
What's that?
Is he going to get pulled? Exactly. Is this the game that we finally get to see some real picking of an increase?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think this one is probably going to be an under. You talked about a little bit with the wind. The options here are probably going to be run and more run for the Browns, probably a little bit for the Steelers too. I mean, they're very capable on the ground. Mike Tomlin usually kind of finds a way to win these close games with a spread at like 3 or 4. So I think it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup if you take a look at, who you like for, a side on this one. But I just look at that total being at 38. I'm not expecting a lot of passing from Brissett either. And then if you take a look at the Steelers, they've been turning over the ball, averaging about, 3 interceptions a game here, even though it's only, 2 games in. But they were able to take, I think, almost 5 away from Burrow. So it was a bunch. Give me the under in this one, Ramon.
Well, I think the weather report is significant, and I think that the only way that Pittsburgh really, I don't want to say stays in the game, because I think that the weather will have that big of a factor, and maybe, yes, they will need to run the ball. And, for all the talk about how Chubb can do a great job and, be a workload back, Hunt, when it comes to this matchup, it's been Hunt that's done the damage as opposed to Chubb, in their previous few games. So to me, that's 2 weapons for Cleveland. So I think that they can kind of control the game with that run game a little bit. They're going to have to. And for me, the only way Pittsburgh gets it done, look, I know what you're saying, the breakdown of the Browns against the Jets. I mean, that was just terrible. It shows that the Browns don't, everybody thinks of the Browns, oh, the defense. Well, they better take a step back a second and see what exactly is going on, because that was not the best situation at all. I mean, you made fun of it a little. Stefanski's down there with the kids. They're ready to celebrate. They're all going to walk off the field together. And, of course, what happens? They end up blowing the game. So, Crush likes the over. And, look, you're getting the best of the number, Crush. No problem there. But to me, Pittsburgh's going to have to throw the ball, I think, if they're going to be able to score, and that maybe they can score a little bit with the run game with Najee Harris, certainly. But to me, I think that the more significant roles are going to be the Cleveland running backs, doing their job, controlling the game. I think the weather is a very, very important factor. It's the worst type of weather, really, compared to even some rain. Some rain can be terrible. We know if it's monsoon, we saw but a light rain's not really that terrible. There's only a slight chance of a sprinkle tonight, but it's wind and
Yeah,
snow's
maybe
not
I
even
see those 14-yard punts, that sort of thing.
yeah, snow's not even as bad. But yeah, when you're faced with 3rd and 8, you got to throw a ball and it's flickering in the air like an NFL films close up. I think that's going to be where the problem lies. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 37 before kickoff. I think maybe I'm overreacting to that weather news, but I think the market reacted to the weather news rather than all of a sudden knocking 2 points off the total because they're like, hey, well, okay, all of a sudden, don't forget the Browns defense has been good, even though they just looked terrible in the last crucial moments against the Jets. And Pittsburgh, of course, we know is already missing Watt. Not that they still won't bring it with
Yeah,
typical
but he's like
Steelers
a
team.
one-man wrecking
This is a
crew. That guy's
divisional
awesome.
game, right? Another reason to consider under here. So I like Cleveland for the game, but now we're up at 4 points, in the game where maybe the scoring is at a premium. So maybe it will be tough to get that cover. That would be a lean for me, but I think I agree with you. I think let's have a consensus play on the under here. I'll think about the Browns and maybe doing something with them. Maybe privately it'll be a money line play or something. I do think they can win this game. Again, you're paying the tax already with the Browns because the early look ahead line was Browns 2.5, and then
Yeah, no,
as we got to the week, it was
4.5.
3.5, and now 4. I have 4 on the screen. Most of it's either a juiced up 4 or even 4.5.
Right.
And under -15 or so. So Cleveland is taking the action, or at least the market's reacting with Cleveland and the under. But again, I think the weather factor for me is very important. Like I said, I think wins are the most significant thing that can affect a game. And we know Pittsburgh, Trubisky's having all kinds of problems. And will we see Pickett tonight? Maybe we will. But let's go under. I feel bad if he gets in there and he's got to be faced with these conditions to try to prove himself first game out.
Right.
And maybe Cleveland defense will find a little something back, with a bounce back. I don't know. It just was really pitiful what happened last week to them in that game. So we're set. We're on record with the under as our official consensus.
We're doing it.
Yep, consensus play right here. So. All right, that's the NFL for tonight. You get catch Tony's video as well on the game, and I think Ben's got one too. So you don't have to just go with our opinion. Check out our other handicappers on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. We got a couple other previews of the game as well. But for Mindy and I, we're going with the under. All right, Mindy, Major League Baseball is what we're going to talk about next. I don't know. It's still, if anything, it might be kind of our favorite, but we're winding down this. I'm actually picking up a little steam over the last 2 or 3 days. So maybe I really want to finish every major sport on the leaderboard. I'm just teetering on there right now. So let's get some winners tonight. And a pretty big card for a Thursday. Trying to squeeze these series in, I guess. And, kind of funny the way they start talking about that playoff format where they're going to end up playing like 5 days in a row on some of those division series games and everything because of the late start to the season. So cramming a lot of games in here, I think, is what we're seeing down the stretch. Sebastian, good morning. Let's hear from everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us today. Where are the viewers, Mindy? This is a big, big day, but they'll be here. They'll watch it on the replay. We've been doing good on our accounts, so really happy I say finishing another week. I mean, it's not officially a conclusion of a week, but I think our conclusion of the week will be Thursdays. And, we've been doing the show several weeks now, so really excited to have everyone. Let's move on to the baseball. Take a look at this card. All right, and again, there were some question marks that really have started to uh, formulate here over the last I'd say hour or so, as far as the getting the pitching roundup together, because heading into the overnight, we were having some question marks with some of these games, but this one didn't have a question. It's going to be Lorenzen for the Angels and Perez for Texas. uh, Perez, this one might be up a little bit. It looks like about a buck 45, and the total is now about 8 under 25.
I have faith in you, Ramon. I think you can stay up on that full-time yearly leaderboard for MLB. We'll keep getting it done. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go a little bit faster today because we have normally on Thursdays we don't have this huge baseball card, so it just kind of wound up that way. So if you want, a little bit more, details here, you can always check out other videos or catch us, in the afternoon show. But I really like Perez here in this one. Angels just 20 and 23 versus left-handers. This season. Perez has that nice 2.90 ERA. I agree with Crush Diamonds there. We're going to go with Rangers money line. And then I'm missing a pen, so I'll be right back. I'm going to grab one.
Oh, I was going to say, go ahead. Just going to say that, we could just roll with Crush Diamonds if we wanted to with some of these baseball plays today. But I, I think I'm going to look under in this game with Lorenzen and Perez in this one. This one really has had kind of a fluctuating total overnight, and it's now settling on 8 under 25. So for me, I think Perez, I mean, look, he's been a pleasant surprise this season, certainly with his 2.84 ERA, and he's been pretty solid also in his last 3 starts with a 2.45 ERA, and each of his last 3 starts have gone under. Lorenzen has been more of an over pitcher this season, and his numbers have been, pretty bad. Obviously, I think that's why maybe you're kind of looking to get on the Rangers here, probably a little bit. But for me, I'm going to end up going under in this game with the Angels and Texas. All right, continue on now and take a look at this next one. This one also looked like it was pretty solidified in the pitching department. Minnesota will be a favorite here on the road with Winder going up against Heasley. Winder right now is about a buck 25 favorite, and the total is 8 over, and maybe it's starting to get up to 8 over 20.
Yeah, it just reminds me of the sidewinder. That's what it looks like to me. That's why I remember, from pitchers, the old, underhand throwers almost. What is it? The Sarah Higgins and
Dan Quisenberry.
Quisenberries.
Ray Royal and Kent Tekulve. He should be a sidewinder, yeah.
The old sidewinders. But yeah, the Twins bats, they're still obviously been they've been struggling, let's say the least, at the bats. And, Heasley, he's just been really, really solid here for Casey in his last couple starts here. I'm going to take the Royals here today at the plus money. Go Casey.
Okay. Yeah. Just taking a look at that game yesterday. It was interesting, how we I want to mention it. I can't believe you didn't roll with your Royals yesterday. We got the best of you on that one, but you'll come back with them today. For me, however, with this one, let me see. With that total, look, I'm probably going to end up with Minnesota here. That's okay. Yesterday, you went KC, or no, I went KC. You went Minnesota, and here I'm going to go Minnesota, and you're going KC.
Oppo.
Just crazy. What
Oppo research.
What do we do? What are we doing here? Well, Minnesota, though, at least this, Minnie, that Minnesota's kind of done pretty well of late against Kansas City. They've won 7 of the last 9 games. Neither of these pitchers really doing much. I agree with you. Heasley's been a little bit better than Winder. A little bit, I think, of late. Winder's got an ERA over 7 in his last 3 starts, but Heasley's about a 4.5 ERA as well. And both these guys, Heasley a 5 ERA for the season, Winder ERA of 4 for the season. So, we're just going to end up on a little bit of opposite action here, I think, with this one. I mean, Minnesota, they're no great shakes on the road, but and I'm laying a price too, but that's why it's a free pick. So, oh boy, we got a disagreement already. Okay, this one I wasn't sure. Maybe we have some information coming in on this one. Maybe it's going to be an opener. No, it's going to be Brebbia. Anytime we see Wong in
Yeah,
there,
we've had this kind of scenario
yeah,
before.
the
I
same
think it was the
same
exact
time.
same pitchers.
Yeah, and it ended up being Brebbia, and I see Brebbia has come out now. This is probably within the last, because I just did these ones pretty late today because there were so many pitching question marks overnight. So I probably did these within the last hour. But Brebbia has come out now as a starter. He's about $1.15, and that total says 11.5 there, but it's severely juiced now, about 11.5 under 25.
Yeah, this is one of those, bullpen day by committee that I don't always care for handicapping purposes. But the Giants' starting pitcher here is sketchy at best. And then Urena's not great either. If I had to do a coin flip, just because I really dislike the pitching by committee, I'm going to go Rockies here on the money line, take this home game and run away with it.
Okay. Yeah, as far as the side is concerned, I mean, kind of agree with you there on this one, and but I'm just not sure because again, I with Brebbia coming in, I should have known better when I saw that Wang was
Right.
listed there as a starter because same thing happened last week, and I think it was Brebbia who ended up being the regular starter, anyways, and this is probably the last game of the board that's kind of been added as far as the uh, odds are concerned. That, like I said, just came up within the last couple of minutes. So I really don't know if I have anything on this one. I'm gonna take a pass. I'm gonna take
All
a
right.
pass right now. I'm just gonna claim that I was prepping for the show. But at least we got Mindy on record here with Colorado with
Right.
Urena. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I know we try to give 2 picks on each game, or at least or a consensus. But here's Seattle. They're going on the road as a big favorite. But Oakland, hey, I was on a little bit of Oakland
You
last night.
were.
So I took them right on the run line, I think, on the show. And here's Seattle again, big favorite with Kirby going up against Martinez.
Yeah, you also had that nice call with the Nationals there yesterday too. But I think I'm just going to be a glutton for punishment here on this one. I mean, Oakland now they've beat Seattle their last 4 outings. I mean, what the heck? But Kirby, he's 5-1 in August, 5-1 with a 2.03 ERA.
Mm.
6-2 with him on the mound. I mean, I don't see any reason why Seattle can't win this game, but yet they continue to disappoint me. Martinez here, he also continues to give up the long ball. I just think you got to take the Mariners in this one, right? Oh, Mariners -1.5 runs.
You gonna do it on the run line, even, huh?
Yeah, you're twisting my arm. Well,
Okay.
I
Well, you
don't feel
got
good
yeah.
enough to do a -225 with Oakland coming in here and beating them for whatever reason. Like it shouldn't happen.
No, and look, they're Seattle's 8-1 with Kirby as a favorite. So
Right.
and we're going to be such a considerable favorite. Crush agrees. Crush agrees. So Crush also had the Rangers. I'm trying to keep up. Crush, thank you as always for your selections. Let's hear from more of our chat. Let's hear from my friends and family watching right now. Are you out there?
Right? Where are they?
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, Mindy, oh boy, this one. I don't know if I necessarily want to come back with Oakland again. I kind of like Seattle too. I don't want to lay any. I've been shying away from any run lines over in
Yeah.
September so far. So do kind of lean towards the under here because, but I preferred it, man, at 7. But 6 of the last 8 meetings have gone under in this series. Kirby's been red hot, so I don't know, man. I really want to take the Seattle with you, but I don't want to lay that price. I'm really worried about that. Kirby Seattle 9-3 in his last 12 starts as well. We mentioned his record as a favorite. But I don't know. Mariners 18-7-1 to the under in their last 26 games. I'm sold on the under.
All
I
right.
can't. Yeah, looking. Want to get something together for our consensus, but we're never going to force it. I'm going to
Yep,
go
we got
exactly.
time. We got time.
I'm going with my ratings right here. And I have, wait to see what you have. But if I can't necessarily agree on it again, I don't want to lay a run and a half right now. Okay, let's move on. And well, let's take a look at this one. Hey, we talked about the situation in San Diego. The weather is getting a lot cooler. We saw that totally last night. I mean, the ball
Right.
wasn't going anywhere. You had Snellzilla, going over 115 pitches, I think, because he worked out of that jam. He was never going to get a no hitter in that game, but still. The Padres are getting hot, Mindy, and they're beating up St. Louis. So, look, I whined about their playoff history. Remember, they did beat St. Louis in the playoffs last season in that mini series. So, I shouldn't really whine too much. I'm thinking more of, older series between the Padres and the Cards. But for this one, you do have Musgrove, a pretty stiff favorite here. I don't know if I trust him in this role, but Flaherty's been so flaky.
Oh, I like Musgrove in this one. I want to back him here today. I think they're just playing well at home as well. Even though they're probably pretty evenly matched. I'm going to give the edge here to the home team today. I'm going to take the Padres on the money line.
Well, I hope you're right. Hope you're right. But I'm going to give Flaherty a chance to have a better performance. And I think the day game will be a little bit different when it comes to the atmospheric conditions of Petco
Atmospheric.
Park. But still, uh, the Cardinals. Everybody knows what the Cardinals' problem is right now. They just cannot get anything going on offense.
Nothing.
I mean, um, you know, they're in a real bad funk. I mean, maybe the worst in the league right now, and they've run into a team with, that can have a pretty good pitching staff at times, especially at home. Musgrove with that ERA just over 3, but Flaherty, 5 ERA this year. He just has not pitched as like we expected him to pitch. But Padres 7-2 to the under in their last 9 at home, so can't get any consensus here, Mindy. You've got Padres. I've got under.
Padres and under.
So that takes care of the matinee games there, if you will. So we can move now on to the evening contests in this one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yep. And leading off in the night games will be the Cubs with Wisniewski going up here against Pittsburgh and Keller. Cubs are going to be a slight road favorite here, 7.5 over 15.
Yeah, so Wisniewski, this is going to be his, second career start. So all of the drama is totally gone now out of this. The Chicago lineup just hasn't really been, great. But I mean, I guess neither really has, Pittsburgh either. But I really feel comfortable backing Keller in this situation. He's posting that 1.50 ERA here in September. I'm going to go Pirates. Back the Pirates are on the money line.
Yeah, let's get a consensus on this one. Look, Wisniewski, hats off. I mean, right? The 7 innings in his debut, 88 pitches, just terrific. No doubt about it. But I think Keller, who, very hot right now as well with his 1.42 ERA in his last 3 starts. He's really started to lower his numbers a little bit here. So, look, I think he could have a pretty strong outing, and getting this reasonable price, minus $1.05 or so. I think for me and for Crush, for our 3-team panel here.
Right.
So let's do it. Let's get a consensus going on Pittsburgh in this one. Definitely like what I see currently. Pittsburgh, a little bit of life maybe, but more so with I think with Keller in there. Gotta kind of dodge. He's got to work deep because Pittsburgh bullpen's been struggling. Cubs bullpen has been pretty good, but I don't think it basically a toss-up. I'm going to pass here, even though this is just one of those games playing out the string in late September. Okay, just looking to make sure. This is probably an opener, I would think, for Tampa Bay. With Chargois going up against Barrios. Barrios about $1.25 here. Down, I'm seeing maybe as low as 115. So maybe the action's coming in on Tampa Bay, and that total 7.5 and I'm currently seeing it over 20.
Yeah, so I still think the Blue Jays here, they're still hot, even though they lost to that Philadelphia team last night. In extra innings, they had plenty of chances to win that game. I mean, they're scoring at least 5 runs in each of their last, 8 outings. Rays only won 3 of the last 9 games. Barrios has just been really, really good here. 2.45 ERA. I don't really like the bullpen there for the Blue Jays as of late. But I'm still going to I think back the Blue Jays here in this one.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, they got a 6 ERA pretty much over the last 10 games or so. But again, like I said, you talk about when we think of the Blue Jays, right? And we think of them being strong at home. Teams, especially early in the season, having some issues. Obviously, a little bit cumbersome to get there because of the pandemic, all that stuff. But that, it's kind of loosened up now. In fact, they talked about some of the restrictions loosening in Canada very, very soon. I didn't catch. I think it was almost either immediately or coming up anyway. So I like Toronto in this game. I think Mindy as well with Barrios. They're just playing well on the road. I mean, that's saying something. So I think the fact that Toronto, they've won 12 of their last 15 now on the road. So also 21-8 in their last 29 as a favorite. So that's really saying something. And Tampa Bay, as an underdog, has only won 2 of their last 8 games and 4 of their last 13 overall. Let's get another consensus play together for the night card and take Toronto. All right, Milwaukee is going to go up with Woodruff. Stiff favorite here against Cincinnati. Milwaukee is in must-win mode, obviously, so they're a pretty big favorite on the road here against Hunter Green. $1.55 or so, and the total I'm showing now 7.5 over 20.
All right, here. Let me finish up that. I was answering that question.
Oh, no problem. I could even start the game. I'm falling behind in the chat. Oh, boy, I appreciate all of it.
No, I mean, I just think Cincinnati here, they just don't have a whole lot to look for in this one. I mean, it was pretty embarrassing, I thought, getting swept by Pittsburgh the last time out. I just think Woodruff will just take care of Cincinnati today. I like Hunter Green. He throws really, really hard. But yeah, I just don't think they have the power behind Green here today to take this one. Milwaukee minus 160.
Okay, lay the chalk there with Milwaukee. Mindy says, yeah, I mean, like I said, Milwaukee, they need to win, especially with the Padres keep winning right now. And, I kept talking about the Padres and that going up against the Cardinal. Now they're heading for a matchup with the Braves if that situation continues. So I don't know. For me, I was kind of going to look at the total in this one. I kind of think right now, especially with it being 7.5 over 20, I was going to lean towards the over here. But these pitchers have just been so strong. You have Woodruff, a 1.71 ERA in his last 3 starts. And, we know that Green, has a 5 ERA this season. So, oh man, that one kind of worries me a little bit. Are we going to be on? I'm gonna go opposite, Mindy. I'm gonna take Hunter Green to get back on track here a little bit. He's been okay, and yeah. I'll take him as a dog here.
So what did he have? It was 7 pitches over 100 miles an hour last game. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he has been roughed up against Milwaukee this year. That's the one thing that bothers me. I couldn't come with it as a premium, but almost a 10 ERA and an 0-2 record. But at home here, getting a plus price, and maybe Cincinnati has they can play a little bit of spoiler here. I'll take Cincinnati in this one. All right, Houston's going to take on Baltimore. JV is going to be nearly a $2 favorite here, going up against. I show it now, maybe even $1.80 at some places, going up against Baltimore and Bradish. I had a premium yesterday with Baltimore, but here they're a big dog.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this on the afternoon show with Tony a little bit. That the Astros, they're still going for, that number one, seed. So, I mean, even though they kind of pretty much have everything wrapped up, I think they're still going to continue to play well. And then, Verlander, he's on the mound. He's having a nice year also. Orioles, I just think they haven't been playing well enough as of late. I think they kind of got over that. We're really going to, I'm rooting for them to make the 500, but I'm just not quite so sure they're going to do it with what they have left. I mean, they haven't really showed me just a whole lot. I know it's a lot, but I'm still going to take Verlander minus 190 in this one. I don't really like the play, but that's how I'm probably going to go on it.
Okay, no problem. And we can lay big chalk on the free show. I think that's okay. I don't know. For me, Bradish hasn't been great. We know that he's gone over in 12 of his 20 games. We know Verlander can certainly, deal, and he's been hot, no doubt about it. 2-0. Hasn't given up any runs in his last 3 starts, and he's gone under in 10 of his last 13. But I think that we might see some runs end up being scored in this one. Maybe they come on the Houston side against Bradish. Can't necessarily say that Verlander is going to give anything up, but because just the way he's going right now, and I don't know, might be maybe a flat spot. Like we said, Baltimore, they still got hope. They still can go on a winning streak.
They do.
I know what you're saying about just staying above 500. There are 6 games above 500, I think, right now. So, whether or not they can hang on to that mark. I mean, Houston was 99 wins going into this one, but I'll go over just because it's on a 7 here.
Yeah. So what did we say that Baltimore has left? Red Sox, Yankees. Who else was it? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think it's just going to be tough with how they've been playing. We'll see.
It'd be nice if they could get in there. It's been a good season, but again, I think their little streaks that they went on of late with those losses really, damaged them.
On teams they should have beat too.
Yeah, very, very difficult at this point, despite yesterday's win. So,
yes.
All right, keep cruising along. We're almost done here with the baseball card. Boston and the Yankees. Wow, Boston and the Yankees. Ucla going against Tyone. Tyone, $1.55. Is that right here? Yeah, I guess so. Was higher earlier, so maybe the action's on Boston, and this total now sits at 8.
Yeah, I think I'm heading towards Boston here as well. Ucla, he's been, somewhat amazing this year. 11-1 this season. 2.61 ERA. Hasn't lost on the road this year. Tyone coming off kind of a rough start there versus the Brewers. Boston, they're still scoring, 5.32 runs here in September, 8th most in the month. I think I'm going to go ahead and, back Boston here in this one and still check in on the home run extravaganza here.
Yeah. Are you going money line with Boston?
Yeah, I'll take Boston on the money line.
Wow. Okay. Getting a very good price here. Yeah. I mean, all eyes will be on the Judge again tonight. It didn't happen last night, but he certainly, looked good at the plate, with his extra base hits. So, it seems like just a matter of time, but maybe not against Ucla, right? 7-0 in his last 10 starts with a 2.85 ERA in Boston, has won 15 of his 20 starts. You mentioned, his road success, and Tyone's been, pretty mediocre, that's for sure. I don't know if they necessarily should be such a big favorite here, except the Yankees have won 7 of their last 9 games, but they're playing Pittsburgh, they're beating up on Pittsburgh, getting 20 runs in the 9th inning with grand slams every night. So now they're playing Boston. Again, Boston not doing much, but like you said, with Ucla, he's just pitching outstanding right now, and maybe Boston's had the slightly better bullpen of late. We know Yankees have a good bullpen at home. I'm gonna go over in this game. I'm gonna go over 8. I kind of tend to agree with you there with Ucla. Just not sure I can play him right now maybe it might end up getting into the bullpen and getting away. And I don't know if tonight's the night for the Judge, but I think that's where everyone's going to be watch. Again, we've got NFL tonight. We got some college football, but everybody's going to be on the Judge watch too. So, all right, Neil's got to play. Hank, thanks for joining us, Neil. And
Same. Going
Billy
with
Matt's in
Ramon.
here. We're starting to see also some college football talk. And again, talking about tonight's games. If you want to see tonight's games in college football, we'll cover it in a little bit as far as where to find our videos, but they're on our some of our previous shows. So, okay, still rolling here with the baseball card. And let's look next at Atlanta. Here's Max Fried. Just postponed today, I guess, and he'll be on the mound against Ranger Suarez. Fried on the road here, down to about a buck 40 or so, and the total 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one's definitely going to be, a good matchup. I think to me, this one, it kind of has been coming down to Atlanta's been struggling to cover any sort of run line that any folks have been, playing here. I'm going to look at Philadelphia to keep this one close at home here with Suarez. I'm going to take Philadelphia. I'll take them on the money line.
Okay, getting a nice price with that underdog in this one, and I think I'll look to go under. I was looking at a premium on the under in this game if it came maybe even a juiced 8, but I'm not sure now at that number of 7.5. I'm 7.5 over 20, so might be getting some. Oh boy,
Oh boy.
7.5 of under minus 115. Is that right? Okay, that's okay. I'll still lay a little juice there, and I will take under in Atlanta and Philadelphia. Again, I was thinking about going a little premium action on the under here, especially with, Suarez, 3.5 ERA this season. Fried with that excellent 2.52 ERA, even better over his last 3 starts with a 2.12. Atlanta certainly hot in the bullpen right now, 2.34 ERA over the last 10 games. So I'll go under in Atlanta and Philly. All right, Cleveland and Bieber going to be a favorite, $1.35 on the road against Cueto. Total 7 over 30-ish.
Yeah, so Cleveland, they have this 5-game lead over those Sox right now, and the Sox are kind of running out of time. I just like Bieber here. He's pretty awesome. 7-3 on the road, 2.67 ERA. White Sox are just stranding too many base runners, just not seeming to get the job done when they need to. The Guardians are 8-2 in the last 10. I look for them to stay hot. I'm gonna go with the Guardians today. Money line minus 135.
Yeah, I mean, Bieber's been hot, no doubt about it, with that 1.21 ERA in his last 3 starts, all of which have gone under. Cleveland, excellent right now in the bullpen. So I don't know. I think I'm going to be in agreement with you here. I think, look, Bieber, been hot. Cueto always gives us a good effort, but I think you're right, Mindy. I think with Bieber in there right now, still an important game. I'll agree with you. Let's go ahead and lay $1.40 here with Cleveland and make it a consensus play, shall we?
Hooray! Consensus.
Okay. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Talking a little football in there, so I'll just stay out of the way right now, and we'll wrap up with the last game here with Arizona against the Dodgers. Maybe the Dodgers are just on cruise control a little bit, and now they're going to have to face Zach Gallen.
I know. I keep thinking that these, Dodgers are going to just take absolute advantage over these Diamondbacks. But it hasn't always been what's been kind of happening. I mean, they still maybe get the win, but haven't really been, taking them out. It's one of those, like, the Diamondbacks, just haven't been very good. Only 14 hits in their last 79 at-bats versus Urias there. And the Dodgers, they're 21 for 113 versus Gallen. So to me, this looks like just a total a low score in this one. I'm going to go ahead and take the under.
All right. And I don't know. I think Dodgers are kind of sputtering a little bit. I don't want to lay a huge price with it. I think Arizona's got a little something going. I think Gallen can keep them in there, and just seems like they're really playing pretty decent right now. The run line's at minus $1.22. I'll take Arizona plus 1.5 on that run line. Maybe I should take him as an underdog at plus
You
1.
heard him.
Something is telling me to take him as an underdog, but I'll lay a little bit of juice with Arizona on the run line.
I know they've been good for most of the day. They've just been kind of laying under the desk here, but obviously there was
when I took Arizona.
Yeah.
But maybe they thought I was going money line, but I'm not. Okay, that's going to wrap up the baseball card now. So now we'll talk about the football card a little bit. Again, lots of comments in the chat about tonight's games, and we talked about tonight's games, Mindy, on the show back on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about the Thursday games and the Friday games.
Correct.
On our Tuesday show. I also think that our picks were clipped for the 2 nights on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. You can find them as just 2 separate videos. You can find tonight's 2 games as one separate video. If you want to look at our picks, of course, Tony has his picks up as well. In fact, his show just debuted actually with the 2 games for tonight just about 90 minutes ago. So that should be right at the top of the page on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Tony's 2 picks for tonight's games as well. And if you don't want to go back and look at the show, Mindy and I have conveniently packaged our consensus plays over at tonyspicks.com. You can go over there and, maybe just support us. If you will. If you like our show and you're like, hey, I like these guys, I don't want them to go off the air or anything, how about buying our 5-pack of our morning steam just as a little support? It's just $35. You're going to get 5 plays right there, Mindy. 1 in each game for the next 2 nights. Our consensus plays. Many of you already know what they are.
Right.
It's not a secret. So we're not, you can go back and just look at them, but you don't want to do the work, or if you want to support us right here on our channel, because we're just, 2 independent contracting handicappers right here with our friend Tony, and we'd love to have your support. So you can get all of our plays right there over the next 2 nights for $35, profit guaranteed, or you get more credits on the site. Profit guarantee, Mindy, means that if we don't show a profit in those 5 games, you'll get the $35 credited back to your Tony's account, and you can leave us and go look at another handicapper, or stick with us on the morning steam, or get something from us individually with those credits. So I don't know. You say it's a can't lose, and maybe we'll go 5-0.
Yeah.
Hey, look at our record right now, Mindy, on the morning steam. If you look at the leaderboards, our consensus plays have been some of the best. We've only been doing it a week, but
but still.
Right now we had 3 and 1. We're at the top of the leaderboard. Our consensus top of the leaderboard, plus 400 units over the last 7 days, with a 22-16 record. So I think that speaks volumes to the just putting our minds together here on our new show.
The greatest minds of all time, right?
Are we in week 3 or week 4? It's going so. It's got to be. We started as college football. Are we on week 5?
I don't know.
Okay, 4.
All I know is it takes 21 days for me to create a new habit of getting up at a different time of day. So I'm getting really close to that. So we might be on like 4 weeks or 3 weeks. I'm not sure where we're standing. But then I totally blow it because I sleep in, tomorrow on our day off. I need to rest up for the weekend.
Yeah, I need a day, and that's our day. We rest on Friday because we gear up for the big weekend. That's what we do. So what we'll do is we'll get caught up here on some college football. So we covered already. We talked about those 5 games for Thursday and Friday, and get those there. We also have our consensus selections for the first part of the Saturday card. Those are the noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 a.m. Pacific games. You can also get those plays over there if you don't want to go back and look. What did we have there? Like another 5-pack? It was a
4. So I think we did a
4.
3 and 1. I think we
Okay.
did a single. Did we do a single pack on the Big 12 game? I
Yep.
think is what it
Yep.
was.
Yep. So plenty of plays over there, or you can support us by just picking up the plays. But so we're going to resume with the college football card, and this will be the games starting at Mindy. I believe. Let me refresh my.
1, I think. 1 Central Time. So
Thank
11
you.
o'clock your
Yes,
time.
2 o'clock Pacific, 1 Central, two
Eastern.
2 Eastern, 1
Central.
Central, 11 Pacific. Okay.
Yes, you guys have to get
Boy.
up real early out there for football, don't you?
Yeah, especially on Sunday when they do the London game. It comes on at 6:30 in the morning here next week, of course.
Yeah,
Not
ours
this
is like
week, but
9:30. It's nothing.
they will have London game coming next week. So our first London game's coming in the NFL. So where we're resuming here is at 3 for you. Get your pens, pencils, and rotation orders ready. And we'll start at 319, 320, but we're also going in chronological order, so you might have to bounce around a little bit. But we'll start with Massachusetts and Temple. Temple, a favorite here, 9.5 total, 43.5.
UMass. Arr, what are they doing? They're getting demolished by teams. They lost by 32 and 45 to Tulane and Toledo. Temple, on the other hand, they look really good, I thought, while they were playing Rutgers. UMass just can't stop anything. Take the Owls. I think that's minus 9.5.
Yep, Owls minus 9.5 there. Look, I think UMass can actually stay in this game. I don't think Temple has some kind of defense that's going to like shut somebody down necessarily. It's not the best of games, and this is a reasonable total for me. I'm going to lean to the. I'm not going to lean. I'm not leaning at anything. I'm giving it out on the free play right here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Crush Diamond says take Temple and lay the points with you as well, Mindy. But I'm going to go over in this one. Over the 43.5 will be my free play on the Massachusetts and Temple game. Okay. Well, UCLA 21-point favorite against Colorado. Well, everybody wants to, send my guy Carl Durrell out the door at Colorado. He's getting a big 3 touchdowns here, though, and maybe there's some sentiment on Colorado. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I have to back UCLA here in this one. I mean, what is Colorado's identity as a football team? I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish at this point with, a couple of games in. They only averaged 240 yards of offense. UCLA, 506. That's a bunch. Take UCLA.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Colorado, you mentioned it, offensive woes are 0-3 against the spread, 0-3 straight up, obviously. They're not covering by an average of about 13 games and been outscored by those 33 points you said, and outgained by 200 yards. So I don't know. Maybe I would even take them here, but I'm not sure. So I'll just go under in this one with UCLA on the road. I don't think, so that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's going to be tough to cover 3 touchdowns, but if they do, it can't be much more than that. So I think with a reasonable.
I think the only way that's not is if they're just out of breath from the high altitude.
Well, that's always a consideration.
It is, right?
Look what happened to South Alabama. I mean, that was a side that I liked last week. They almost lost that game. I guess I was just a couple weeks late with trying to beat UCLA. With that Bowling Green pick, but again, that's what happened. UCLA, they're no world beaters here, but Crush does like them laying 3 touchdowns, so I got to respect that. I'll just go under for my free play. All right, Mindy, this one looks interesting. Certainly given the scenario. I mean, Notre Dame was a big favorite, about a touchdown favorite in the summer. In this one, but things have changed dramatically, and now North Carolina is a 1.5 point favorite here. The total is 55.
Yeah, Notre Dame seems to just kind of be reeling here. Almost losing to Cal again. I mean, Cal, the guy laying on his back in the end zone, had that ball there for a couple seconds, even. I mean, I just have zero confidence in this Notre Dame team right now. I don't even have confidence in them to really make a push for much this season. And I think you can see that, on the players, faces, just how they look out there. To me, I just think, they're playing against this North Carolina team. I think they're a high powered offense. They're at home. I think they're going to run away with this one. Honestly, I like North Carolina.
I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, they've been in some crazy games, certainly, but Notre Dame, they just Buckner going out. They're still going to have plenty of talent on this roster, but to go on the road right now, just as poor as they've looked so far, Carolina, they might be able to get something done here. I think they could even win this one, by a substantial margin. I
Same.
kind of want to go premium on it, but you're on it. Somebody else I know here on this channel that uh, maybe has videos about this game is on it. That's good enough for me too. The move obviously is on Carolina, right? I mean, uh, I'm not talking necessarily even the summer move with Notre Dame being a big favorite. I'm talking about this game is kind of closer to a pick 'em, and now you're looking at Carolina slight favorite. Let's go ahead and lay this, Mindy, 1.5, and have a consensus play for the middle of the schedule here, and take North Carolina, mark it down.
Got it. Got it. We're in.
Middle Tennessee going up against Miami. Miami laying a pretty big number here to the Blue Raiders. The total is 52.
Yeah, I just think Middle Tennessee State here, they're just going to be a little bit outmatched by this ACC team here. Middle Tennessee, they're 2-5 versus the ACC conference. Miami, I think they'll finally be able to score a touchdown. They didn't put up much versus Texas A&M. I was all over Miami. I loved it that game, but they did leave, some points on the field there. But yeah, I just think Miami is just going to be too big, too strong, too fast for a Middle Tennessee. I'll take them at -25.
I have concerns about them laying, close to 4 touchdowns. I think the value is on Miami because, look, the line was definitely a little bit higher. So, you're laying a little bit better price. I show as high opener as high as 27. So if you could lay 25 now, I think that's okay. But for me, I'm going to go under in this one. I think that,
You think a little bit more one-sided, or
well,
that they're each not going to be able to score much.
that might not be the blowout that you're calling for necessarily. Um, Maybe the Blue Raiders can even stay within this, big number. That's my only concern about it. So I'm not going to join you on that side, but I will go. And again, I'm not getting the best of the price either. That's the problem with the total. The move has definitely been on the under, open as high as 54. So can't necessarily recommend it as a premium, but I'll go under 52 there.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Minnesota, favorite here. Look at this one. They're kind of a mover here right now in this one against Michigan State. They're up to 2.5. Is that right? And it's juiced.
Yeah,
And the
this is
total,
probably one of my favorite Big Ten games this week. It's going to be a good one, I think. But Minnesota, it's going to be a test. I mean, they haven't played anyone, but they're still ranked number 2 offensively, total offense. Number 2 and third down scoring, and first downs, and also their defense is ranked number 2 right now. Minnesota's a very talented team, and they're very well coached. So I just think they're pretty capable with staying with the Michigan State team that I think overall people are going to look at on paper and say, it's Michigan State here, but they're, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and take a look here at the total instead of these guys battling this one out. Michigan State, they're 8-3 to the over in their last 11, and then Minnesota, they're 4-0 to the over. Also, I'm going to take the over total, over 51 in this one. Looking for a lot of running, a lot of scoring, maybe not too much defense. Even though that Minnesota team is ranked 2 defensively, they really haven't, played anyone as of yet.
Yeah. There were some early lines that had this total a lot lower. I'm concerned about that high total, but I respect your opinion there to go over, you said, right? So
Yes.
Michigan State had their problems last week against Washington. I think bringing them back home a little bit. I know Minnesota's been great. They've been covering by an average of 9 points so far, but they haven't been playing the likes of a program like Michigan
Right.
State. There are question marks, obviously, still about Michigan State, given what happened last week. Michigan State opened about a 1 point favorite, really, and now they're getting 2.5. They may be even getting 3. I would exercise patience here and maybe waiting for the 3 because I think it's going to get there. In fact, in some places it already has. So my play is going to be on Michigan State actually in the game. All right, let's go to the SEC now and take a look at Florida going up against Tennessee. And Tennessee would not have been a 10.5 point favorite before the season, I don't think, but they are now. And the total is 61.5. Wow, that's down, I would say.
Yeah, I kind of think this is one of those classic rivalries. It's kind of what I think about for one of those 2:30 games that I'm pretty excited to watch. I think this one's going to come down to whether or not each of these two teams can score 30, and I'm not quite so sure that this Florida offense can do this. I think Florida's good enough that they'll probably go ahead and trade possessions, that sort of thing. But I'm going to look to the total. I'm going to look to it going under. The under is 5-0 with Florida versus a team with a winning record. Again, I'm not sure Tennessee can, blow them out by any means. They only allow 26 points per game. I'm going to look for this one to go under the 61.5.
Yeah, Tennessee's never been this big of a favorite against Florida. So, if anything, I still want to give Florida a chance. And I agree with you. And I think that's what'll kind of happen is that maybe it'll be more of a grudge match, if you will. And I don't think that Florida necessarily can, uh, win the game, but I think that they might be able to stay within this kind of a number. Maybe there's a little bit. Maybe Tennessee's slightly overrated in this game. I don't know if they're slightly overrated overall as a team, but I don't know. I think that Florida kind of can hang in there, but I agree with you. I think under is the better play. I kind of wanted to play the game as a premium under, but I've kind of missed out on at least 2 points, maybe even 3. So let's just make it a consensus play, however, and still give out the under at 61.5. Let's do it.
All right.
And look at this. We've got Crushed Diamond calling for the Gator upset. I don't mind that. I don't mind that necessarily right now. But again, like I said, Tennessee's I don't think has ever been favored by double digits over Florida as far as I can remember. Okay, Indiana is going to take on Cincinnati. Cincinnati, a big favorite here. Another game where maybe they wouldn't have been this big of a favorite early on, but the momentum is back with Cincinnati, and maybe question marks all of a sudden with Indiana, despite being 3-0. I think there's a lot of people saying kind of fluky at this point.
Well, I'm one of them because I am not a fan of that Indiana coaching staff. I think I've talked about it, a little bit that I'm kind of surprised at their start. I just think they're just not really great offensively, and they haven't been very good here on the road. But then, you have a Cincinnati team that they just really haven't lost any home games. It's been like 3 years or something. It's one of those, like, I just don't know about this spread. And I feel like I'm a little bit biased towards this Indiana team, right? Maybe it's my bias is me not liking this coaching staff is maybe undervaluing an Indiana team here. Even though Cincinnati, they are that 5-1 at home. I'm just not so sure that they're going to be able to cover I mean, 16.5 seems a lot to me for this spread.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Well, it
take
opened
Indiana.
11. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
been a gigantic move. So if you take Indiana, I mean, you're getting total value.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going. I'm going to take Indiana plus 16.5 here at this one.
Okay, and I will go over. Here's another one where I kind of thought, 53, 54 was going to be premium territory for me. At 57, not necessarily. So for me, I'll take over. So Mindy will take Indiana plus those big points, and I will go over 57. All right, moving on here, continuing on. Hey, this is a nice game. I mean, people look at the schedule, and maybe if they're not, I know all of you in the chat are hardcore like us, um, but I don't think general fan is going to say, let me watch that Madison App State game, but this is a pretty good game.
Well, I don't know too much about this James Madison team. I think you have to, fill me in a little bit. It's one of those, like, I haven't really been, following them, much
Well, is it because your
over the years.
records don't go back as far because of their recent admittance to the
Exactly.
FBS?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty
Okay.
much what it comes down to, right? So, yeah, let me plug it in real quick because I didn't have this one. So I'm going to be interested just to see what I show here initially. So let me go
Okay.
ahead and put
Well,
it in.
I'll
And we'll
go ahead.
take so I actually have I have a James Madison victory here in this one.
Oh
If I
boy.
plug it into my I mean not like straight up victory, but I have them taking the +7 and winning
Okay.
this one. So yeah,
Well,
that'll be my pick. I know it was fast, but I have a formula that I use. Just punch in James Madison versus App State, and I get a James Madison +7.
yeah, and again, I think look, I mean, they've been a monster cover so far, Madison and Appalachian
Again,
State.
mine are only based on the numbers. No other, no
No,
other information other than that. Just I'm putting that out there. Continue, Ramon.
no, I don't have necessarily a problem with that. I mean, I want to take Madison here as I want to take James Madison here in this game myself. So I mean, why don't we just I don't know if
I'm okay with it. I mean, my formula is pretty good.
look, I think
I did well.
Appalachian State's getting a lot of attention because of everything that's going on, with their good fortune so far this season. But I think Madison, I think people are like you; they're not sure what maybe handicapping with Madison yet, but they've covered both games by almost 50 points total, so they've really looked quite sharp. And here they're getting a touchdown, so. I want to let's make it a consensus
All
play.
right, let's do it.
Madison getting the 7 points. Wish it was more, but because it was, I do believe, a little bit higher. But that's okay. We'll still grab these points. Yeah, it opened 8, but we'll still grab these points. And it's kind of a consensus play right here with James
Look at
Madison.
that.
Okay.
All based off of the numbers.
Well, again, look. We saw what happened last week with App State. Their big win. Their big win and everything. Everybody's all fired up about that big win that they had and their other win over the overtime game, of course. So
Well, and obviously Vegas thinks it's going
game,
to be
the
close.
incredible game against Carolina early on. So
And Vegas thinks it's going to be close. So
yeah, they've garnered a lot of attention, but I think people are kind of sleeping. These are two underrated teams. That, like I said, better game than most people think is the way I feel about it. I think.
Yeah, I'll be sure to check it out.
All right, Toledo is going to go up against San Diego State. San Diego State. I think that line's wrong. I mean, is it? Oh no, I guess not. Toledo's a 2.5, 3-point favorite now. People are down on this San Diego State team. They had some drama here this week. Just today or yesterday, actually, one of the backup quarterbacks quit the team. He's going to enter the transfer portal. So Braxton Burmeister, he's the quarterback here. But what do you think here, Mindy? San Diego State, they're not doing much offensively.
Well, some people might be down on them, but I am just not one of them. I love this game at your Snapdragon Stadium. I love that ever since you told me that that was the name of your new place. But the Aztecs have won 7 of their last 10 games at home. They're also a top 25 rushing offense. I mean, I appreciate them. I thought they were going to be better or have a better start, so far. But I just, I mean, I just like them. I always have. And Toledo, they've only played someone like, UMass, LIU. They did manage to score a couple versus Ohio State. But I look for San Diego State here at home to cover. Or actually, I guess not cover. They get the points. Take them +3.
Yeah, I mean, there's value maybe on San Diego State. Like I said, they got back to running the ball a bit, so that just looked better for them. It looks like Bell is going to be out for this game, though, for San Diego State. That does hurt their running game a little bit. They should have more speed than Toledo, but Toledo does, to me, I think Toledo's got the best defense, or one of the best defenses in the MAC, if not the best defense in the MAC. And so we know San Diego State does have a good defense. So I'm going to go under in this one, under 45.5 in Toledo and San Diego State. I hope they can get this win. I mean, it's going to be embarrassing, really, if they don't, but they're underdogs. So, right now the expectations are they are not going to win. Again, we may see more passing back again from San Diego State in this one. I think maybe they think they can use that speed that I think they have over Toledo. But again, I'll go under. I know there's some sharp handicappers that are on the over in this game, but again, I think Toledo has one of the better defenses. San Diego State hasn't shown much on offense, and we know San Diego State plays very good defense. So I'll go under.
Go Aztecs.
Texas is going to take on Texas State. This is a little bit of a runaway favorite here for Texas. They opened, maybe 4.5 or so, and now they're up to 6.5 with a total of 60.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this line still seems to be a little bit low. I'm surprised it hasn't gone a little bit more. I expect Texas to play more, like they did versus, Alabama. I mean, they didn't allow much on defense to that Alabama team, and I don't expect Texas Tech to be able to just really, light it up or anything. I also think that Texas should be able just to run through that Tech defense here. Longhorns, they're 10-12, 10-2 straight up, 9-3 against the spread in their last 12 versus Tech. I like the Longhorns here, and again, I'll take that to try 10.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see, anything maybe explosive from Texas Tech. I think Texas might be able to put a good double-digit win together here. I like Texas as well. I think we should get it together as a consensus play in this one. I don't necessarily want to lay so many points here when we could have laid less, but I definitely like the Texas side better than maybe the total. And I don't want to take Texas Tech as a dog here. I think the move is right. I think the momentum of the move is right as well. So let's go ahead and mark it down as another consensus and take Texas here in this one. Yep. North Texas is going to take on Memphis. Memphis, a 12.5 point favorite. Here's one of those big 70 totals now, Mindy, but this one did open maybe as low as 67.5. So seen a pretty stiff move to the over.
Yeah, I mean, and that's obviously because North Texas just gives up too many points. And Memphis, they've actually looked, pretty good in their last two. I mean, they've average, I guess, not average. They've scored 81 points in their last two games versus Navy and Arkansas State. I like Memphis to roll here in this one, even though I think that line's moved up as well. I think I had it at like 11. It's now minus 12.5. I'm still going to take Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some value there, I think, on Memphis. But for me, I think, look, I'm concerned now that the total has reached 70. And how I feel about the 70 total.
In September, people don't cover 7. They don't go over 70. Offenses just usually aren't gelling
Yeah,
quite as much. But we've seen
yeah,
it
but
Oregon. I think they put
well,
up.
yeah, but I have concerns to a certain extent that maybe both teams can look. Both teams would have to get into the 30s here probably to take it over. I mean, Memphis expected to score probably like a 40-30 game is what they're saying 41-28, something in that range. That does bother me a little bit. Uh, I'm gonna go under. Yeah, I've got to stay under there. Stick to my guns, if you will. Not real solid on that game. Don't really like it too much at all as far as either side or total. Maybe I'm gonna dig in more into that one.
Cool.
Florida International is going to take on Western Kentucky. We saw what happened in Western Kentucky last, but now they talk about runaway favorites. I mean, the money seems to be pouring in on Western Kentucky here. They opened as low as 26, and I'm starting to see 31, 31 and a half. I see 32. I might even see a 32. And how high will this line go?
How high will she go? I mean, I think FIU is a better team this year. They revamped their whole, coaching staff, but I'm not gonna, be so sure that they're gonna be able to score enough to keep pace at all. Texas State they blew out. Um, you know, their teams here so far. I just don't know. Like I know that it keeps on going up and up because I think I had to open at minus 27 here. But if I take a look, FIU, they're 0-5 against the spread, 0-5 on the road versus Western Kentucky. And then Western Kentucky, they're 5-1 and 8-2 in their last 10. It worries me that suddenly, we're up over 4 touchdowns. I think for my free pick, I'm still going to back them here. But it starts to worry me when I get over the 4 touchdowns. With Florida International, that, like I said, they have a decent coaching staff and have acquired better talent this year. But I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to go Western Kentucky minus 31.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm unsure.
hopefully Florida International can get better. I mean, they might be the worst team right now. I'm not sure. I think that's what a lot of people think. They're seeing the blowout. Look, I think Western Kentucky can blow them out. I just don't want to lay all these points now when I could have laid nearly a touchdown less. That bothers me. So maybe I can consider the over here. I have it at 68 as my number, so I think I've got to consider the play on the over as my free play. Western, I feel bad. They should have that game against Indiana last week. Just what can you say? I mean, they were probably 95%. I don't know, maybe it wasn't that high, but they should have won that game. It was just you saw what happened. I mean,
I did.
Oh boy. Okay, Georgia Tech at Central Florida, one-sided game here with Central Florida favored by 20, total 56 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia Tech, they've been struggling to score, to say the least. Putting up 0 points. And I like Plumlee. He had a nice outing versus Louisville. And then was able to take on FAU. I think they're solid. Here in this one, Tech is only 5-13 against the spread, 2-6 in their last 8 road games. Knights, on the other hand, they're 4-1 against the spread. I'm going to go UCF minus 20 in this one.
Okay, well, hey, it's not all kumbaya with Mindy and I. I'm going to take Georgia Tech in this one. I just think the spread. I think the spread's gone a little too high. This one opened maybe about 17 or so. Now we're looking at 20, maybe even wait. I would say if you're on Mindy's side now, and if you like my play, maybe you can even wait. I think maybe UCF may even go a little bit higher. Maybe we can get 3 touchdowns. I'm going to take Georgia Tech. We've got a disagreement. We're not agreeing on everything around here. We agree to disagree. It's like I'm in the minority here so far. I'm 2-to-1 ratio.
We're just beating up on you, Ramon.
Yeah. Well, again, I think the 17 looked like a better spread to me, and I don't want to lay 20 points with UCF right now. Okay. Oh, let me see. Do I have this right? Oregon is a favorite here at Washington State by 6.5. No, tough to lay points here on the road with uh, uh, Oregon, but what do you think here going Pullman?
Yeah, the dogs are now going crazy here again.
Oh, what does that mean?
It means I'm going to take the points in Washington State. But the Ducks, they're 3-1 this season. Their only loss has been to Georgia. Washington State, they're looking for their first 4-0 start since 2017. Ducks have only won 4 of 6 road games. And it's the same thing. Washington State won 6 of their 8 last home games. Ducks 0-4 against the spread in the last 4. Cougars 5-1 in the last 6 home games. Ducks 1-5 in the last 6 versus Washington State, and 2-10 against the spread in their last 12 overall. So yeah, I'm big time Washington State in this one, plus 6.5.
Okay, and for me, I am going to consider.
And I'll shut the door.
Oh, no problem. I'll talk about my pick then if you want. I like the over in this game. It's kind of gotten away from me a little bit. I mean, this total's been kind of on the rise, and I kind of wanted to maybe do a premium with it. Maybe if it was down near 52, 53 like it was when it opened. Now it's all the way up to 57 here. So I like the over in the game. Can't give it out as a premium. The number's gotten a little bit too high, but that's what I'll do. So Mindy's on Washington State, and I am on the over. We are just near the finish here of our show today. Thank you for all the comments as well. Crush had a play in the last game as well. Crush, thank you for. I didn't get to all your plays, but you're on record in the chat. We can go down and add them up when it's all said and done and see how much you beat us by. Let's look at Tulsa and Mississippi. We got Tulsa, a 3-touchdown favorite. No, that's not. Mississippi, a 3-touchdown favorite against Tulsa.
Yeah, I mean, Tulsa's a decent team. Davis Brin, he's thrown for, what? I think it's 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. But I still think Ole Miss, they'll probably just be too much for Tulsa in this one here. I mean, they've only given up 13 points in 3 games. Ole Miss, they're 7-2 against the spread in the last 10 non-conference games. 11-4-1 versus teams with a winning record. In 5-0 in their last 6 in September. Give me Ole Miss minus 21.
All right, we're going to have a disagreement here. I'm going to take Tulsa. I'm going to take Tulsa with 3 touchdowns in this one. Exactly some of the reasons that you said. I think that they can produce here. I think the total's a little bit high, but for me, I think the play will be on Tulsa. I like those 3 touchdowns. So got a little disagreement. No problem. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, we got
lots of games out there. Lots of games.
Yep. All right, and let's look at the last game of this segment for us, and then we're going to do all the rest of the games. If you follow our show and you get all, you're writing down all of our picks with a little M and a little R or whatever you do, we're going to finish up the card on a big Saturday show at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on the morning steam, where we'll do all the rest of the games. Again, you can go back on the 2 previous shows. Yesterday, we did the first 11 games of Saturday, all the noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific. And on our Tuesday show, we did the Thursday and the Friday, but you also can look at Tony's Picks YouTube channel, and the games have already been cut up and put in a little 2-game pack for tonight, 3-game pack for tomorrow. Just look at Tony's Picks YouTube channel if you want to get our plays, or again, you can subscribe to our consensus package and get the plays real easy. You don't have to scroll or scan or move the little slider bar to find the pick if you don't want to listen to us talk. So, okay, Arizona and Cal, though, we're in the pack, whatever these days, and Arizona here getting the point. California 3-point favorite, total 50.
Yeah, so Arizona, they've actually lost the last 5 of 6, allowing 29 points and 355 yards per game. Cal, on the other hand, They've won their last 5 home games and only allowed 17 points defensively and 331 yards per game. So if I take a look at some of the trends here, Arizona 9-24 against the spread on the road, Cal 4-1 at home, 7-3 in the last 10 overall. Arizona is also 0-6 in their last 6 at Cal. Arizona, if you watch them, they're not really good offensively. I know they beat that San Diego State team. I'm not sure how that occurred. But their run defense just isn't great. I'm going to go with Cal in this one, especially with them playing kind of maybe some of those upper echelon teams, like with Notre Dame and stuff. I mean, even though they're not playing great, but they still played, I think, stiffer competition this season. I'll take Cal at home -3.
Okay, and I'm going to go over in this game with Arizona and Cal. I like what Arizona's doing right now. The game against North Dakota State, that was fine. Arizona's had a couple of nice games, I think, and Cal, look, I don't know if they impressed me as much. I'm going to need them to score here. I mean, they played Davis, they played UNLV, so I'm going to need them to score here, though, because I'm going to go over in this one and go over 50. That's a big, big number. That's my problem with it, but because it opened 47.5. But I will go over as my play. I'm disagreeing with the boss, I think, on that one. So no problem, though. All right, Mindy, let's wrap it up here on the morning steam, and just what do you think you'll have going over there today? We already told you we get our consensus picks and for the football card, and obviously we have some in baseball as well, and our football play. You don't need to buy those, but what do you have premiums today?
I do. I will not have a premium in the NFL game. Too tough for me today. I'm not sure if I can find a lot of value in that one right now where it sets. So again, give away our free pick, which is our best play of the day on that otherwise. But yeah, I'm going into Major League Baseball. I will also have some college plays here today for some NCAA college football. I currently don't have anything up yet. Again, when you're looking last night, didn't have all of the pictures in, that sort of thing. Not sure if there's going to be changes. So yeah, I've been pretty hot as of late. I just broke even the last 2 days. So that kind of hurt my ratios a little bit, but hanging in there, planning on a good day here again this evening. So I always put up a guaranteed best bet for you. You can get that for as little as $15. Then you can use the promo code and get 20% off. So you can still save yourself a couple bucks on that. And then also I will have a 3-pack for Major League Baseball also on there. So yeah, I think you can find something that you like on our site. And then you can take a look at, those morning steam picks. Again, we put our consensus together. And we've been pretty successful thus far, and we're planning on making that work out also. So, but we appreciate, again, if you guys watch here, you don't have to buy unless you want to throw us a couple bucks. But yeah, we give out all of our plays here.
Yeah, like I said, if you don't want to do the work, you miss the show, you like us, you can throw us a bone, right? And just pick up the picks. And, like we said, it's all free right here on the morning steam, 6 days a week, Saturday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 6 a.m. Pacific. But look at Mindy right there, 58% or so over the last week, and also the morning steam team just short of 58% as well. One thing that those two have in common is they have Mindy. And like I said, Mindy, on the consensus picks, all I have to do is see who you pick and then pick the right one that you pick for our consensus. And I can just ride along with you and ride your coattails, because if you look at right there, if you teamed up both Mindy and the morning steam, you'd be up over 800 units over the last 7 days, and that'll get it done. You could just sit here and watch us all day and wouldn't even need to get a job. So,
right.
All right, a great job. Yeah, and the other obvious thing that we want to mention, you can get Mindy and I on a 2-for-1 capper promotion. We'd really like that.
Yeah, so these are our different picks than the show. These are our best bets.
Yep, right. The show picks, certainly they're free picks, but when we have a consensus for Mindy and I, our thought process was we didn't have the confidence to make some premiums. But if we come together here and put our minds together and we both agree on it, then maybe we kind of overlooked it a little bit. Yes, maybe we're telling you a little bit, hey, I don't like the game as much because of the line. But again, I think it boosts the confidence of it when we're both together. That's why we're putting this package together. But you can get us over there with our absolutely best plays every day over at Tony's Picks. You can get Mindy and I for 3 days, for example. Why not pick us up on Friday or Saturday, ride through the weekend for $149? You're definitely going to get, probably, I don't know, Mindy, it's got to be over 30, 35
Easily.
plays of premiums over 3 days.
Yeah, because I've been averaging like 20 college football, or and then NFL. I think we're hitting around 9.
Okay, so even more than that.
What's that?
So even more than that. So
yeah, perhaps. I mean, between the both of us, for sure. So you're definitely
really
going to
just
get your
a couple of bucks per play. Not even
100%. Right.
maybe $3, $4, $5 per play. And if you're playing, at least 2 or 3 bills, if not more, very reasonable selections and information from us here at the Morning Steam. All right, Mindy, there it is. 90 minutes of talk and plays, and hopefully everybody got their comments and their plays in. Appreciate all of you in the chat today, especially all of our regulars. Thank you for joining us here. Tomorrow we're dark. We'll be back on Saturday, right, Mindy, with our big Saturday card. How many games? 28, 29 games, you said?
Something like that.
We still have to cover. So no problem. We'll be here doing it Saturday morning. Make sure you join us. Have a good day off. We'll be on tomorrow too. Join us today, of course, on Game Day Picks, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. Don't forget Soccer Picks Daily with Tony and Paul. That's at 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 Pacific. Get your plays all day long here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thanks for joining us.
Tell your friends about us. Bye-bye.